Welcome to the market open. Holy banana breads. We don't normally do market opens, but I thought we'd do one today. I thought we would definitely do one today. I know I gave you guys an opportunity for a market close today. That didn't realize, but I thought to myself, nothing stops me from doing a market open. And if you guys really want a market close later today, you could still the whole four super thing. Yeah, do it here. We'll do it. But let's get into the morning. So yesterday, holy banana bread. Oh boy, did we have a red day. It was that type of day that makes Meet Kevin very happy because his doom and gloom predictions look like they're happening. So what's going to happen today? That's kind of our first question of the morning before, of course, we got about 14 minutes now until the bell. So what is this day going to provide for us today? Let's share my screen. Oh boy. There we go. Just give me a second here. We're pulling up the screen. Boop. Entire screen. Here we go. Share. Bang. There we go. All right. Now, if you guys remember last week when we did our open to close, well, one of the first places we actually visited was the pre-markets on CNN. CNN, well, it's not my favorite news source, but I do like their markets in the morning. So what we can do first is I like to look and see what the world is doing because the markets open in Asia and Europe before they hit here. And sometimes if we see a red wave, it gives us an idea that we might be in for some red. So let's take a gander. Oh boy, here is our. You can see from the map. I don't see a lot of green. Well, I see Brazil, but let's take a look at Asia first. All right, Japan is currently 5.8% down. The two Chinese one's down 0.92, the other is 1.38. So the Shanghai and the Shenzhen, I'm probably mispronouncing that. I apologize. Taiwan is down 4.43%. Bombay's down 1.08%. Oh boy, we got that red wave, as you can see on the map. Heading over to Europe, not much difference. So the Europe 50 is at 1.60 down. The stocks is 1.96 down. The FTSE, so that's the UK, that's their 250, is down 2.22%. The 100 down 0.77. The DAX from Germany down 1.85, and Italy's down 1.99. France is down 0.88, and Switzerland, they're down 2.70. So we have a red wave coming towards us. We definitely have a red wave coming towards us. Now, when we head into the markets, we can already see the S&P 500 futures is down 1.49%. The NASDAQ is down 2.20%, and the Dow is down 1.08%. What does this mean? This means that there's a good chance that we're going to see a red day today. So the red from yesterday, it has not ended. It's going to move into today. The big question is going to be, is it going to be a full red day, or are we going to start in the red and slowly fight our way back towards the end of the day? So that's the big question. And we're going to see, of course, as the day moves along. Now, I did see in the chat a question here from Muhammad. Wants to know, good morning, Candace. Please tell us about Intel before the market opens. Is it a buy at $23 or can it dip much more? All right, well, let's take a look here at Intel. So Intel, I added them just before we came in, was sitting at $29. So $29.12. Yesterday was not a great day. Now you can look at the shape and you can see it almost looks like it's starting to round the corner. But let's take a look here and see if I can find. Look at this. It ended at $29.12 in the pre-market. in the pre-market, Mohammed, 21.78. Intel is going to probably open below $23. And as you can see, we have an earnings report on Intel as well. Not a great earnings. Intel definitely, they missed on their EPS, so they came in at 0.02. They were expected to come in at 0.1. That's a big miss. That is a huge miss. Their revenue also down. They were expected to come in at 12.918 billion. They came in at 12.833 billion. So yeah, this is not going to be the best day for Intel. If you're looking to buy the dip, this is your day. This is your day. As I said, right now in the pre-market, it's sitting at $21.81. Could it go lower than that? Maybe, but I'll tell you, this is not a bad area. This is not a bad area to certainly be looking at doing some dollar cost averaging into Intel. Oh boy, that's just like yikes. That's what I'm just gonna say. Yikes. I'll say it over again. Now, Intel, of course, had a bad earnings report. Let's take a look just here in the, and this is kind of fun. You can always look at that pre-market, and that gives you a really good indication of what's going on. Let's take a look at NVIDIA and see what they're doing in the pre-market. So yesterday, they finished the day at $109.37. And you can see we've still got movement of tech going down. We're looking right now in the pre-market at $104.40. So we've got about a $5 drop in NVIDIA going into the market. Oh boy. So it looks like tech is going to have a pretty red day. Let's see here if I can find. I thought I had Microsoft in here. Maybe I don't. Let's just add Microsoft. Let's take a look at Microsoft as well. MSFT. Oh, it helps if I spell MSFT right. MSFT. Here we go. Microsoft. I don't have them. Okay. That explains why I didn't see them. All right. Let's look at Microsoft. So Microsoft yesterday finished the day at 417. And you can see right here in the open, look at this, 411.91. They're still falling in the pre-market. So yeah, we are going to have a red day. It's going to be, I think it's going to start off pretty red. I don't know if I'll go as far as calling it a bloodbath red, but it will definitely be red to start. I do think as we move through the day, as we get towards the second half of the day, we're going to see things slow down a bit. But right now, it's one of these things. If you are thinking of looking to buy some dips today, hold on. Maybe use your limit orders because things could go a little bit lower. And it's still going. Look at this. We were $5 just a couple moments ago below. That was with the other one. But anyway, it's still moving. It's still moving down. I've been watching this inch its way down. Not great start to the day for sure. Holy banana bread. Okay, we got the bell coming up in about 6 minutes. Then we can start this off. Now keep in mind, we're looking at the U.S. markets. And I want to show you something here. This here is yesterday's. Wow. It looks great when it works, doesn't it? All right, give me a second here. I'm going to cancel that. I'll just copy this page. We'll just go in again. We'll duplicate tab. We'll come in here. Let's get out of the ETF heat map. All right, we'll just go here. Boop, boop, boo. You got to love it. You got to love it. Let's see. Screeners. Nope. Heat maps. Come on. Let's give me a heat map. And we want to look at the Canadian. Here we go. There we go. Sometimes it's part of the thing with the computer. I have so many screens open. That does happen. But here's one of the things I did want to look at. We did have some green in here yesterday. So let's just I'm going to get rid of the reds so that we can actually see some of the companies that did do good yesterday. And there's a whole bunch of them. So I mean, look at this. You got Enbridge was up. TRP's up. Oh boy. TELUS was up 1.75. Bell was up by 1.07. Rogers was up. Oh boy. Dollarama was up. Canadian Tire was flat, but hey, it wasn't down. Oh, look at this. Look at this. We'll pull this up. A Fresh. So Fresh Factory BC, they were up a huge 23.53% yesterday. Now, mind you, this is a bit of a penny stock, so that can happen with a company like that. So there were winners. Yeah. Oh, look, Fortis was up. I'm liking this. Actually, I'm really happy that Fortis has been moving into the green, so that's been good. And we're starting to see that. You remember how I mentioned utilities are going to be one of those companies that as we get rate cuts, they're going to start doing better? Well, yesterday, that's exactly what happened. Well, not Algonquin. Algonquin was down a tiny bit, but I mean, look at this. Here's TransAlta. They were up yesterday 8.56%. So it's not looking too bad for some companies. Now, let's see here. I thought there was somebody else I wanted to point out. Maybe not, but not bad. Not bad for some companies. The rest, we'll bring them back. We'll bring them back. Here we come back with the red. We still had a lot of down. We had a lot of red. Nothing we could do about it. Today, it looks like we're going to get the same thing. It looks like we're going to get the exact same thing. So get prepared. Be ready. It's coming. Holy banana bread. All right. Let's, as we get closer to the bell here, let's quickly hit the chat. We got JJ. Howdy. Just popping in to say hi. Good morning, JJ. Hope your day goes well. Mario saying good morning, everyone. We got Funky Books. Good morning. And Funky Books was the newest person who dropped in, and I think they subscribed. We got here. Look at this. Oh yeah, we had a subscription from Funny Books. Awesome. Welcome to the channel, members. Ricardo says good morning. Holy moly, VIX is at 21. Yes, the VIX is up. So the VIX, it's one of these indexes that kind of measures volatility in the market. So, and some people even say it measures fear, greed. And there's a lot of fear in the market right now. So the VIX is up. What the VIX actually looks at is it looks at futures. That's where its algorithm pulls its data from. And that gives the overall market a good idea of what's going on. So a lot of times when the VIX goes up, it's not always the best for the market. So we're going to have to see what happens. But I think today we know where everything is going. And we'll pull it back here. So if you'll notice yesterday, I got rid of it. But as you noticed yesterday, everything was in the red. The Dow Jones, the NASDAQ. Like, look at some of these numbers. The NASDAQ was down 2.44%. TSX up here, 1.68%. We had a really red day, and it's going to continue. It is going to continue. We'll have some fresh data here once the market opens. So, oh boy, we're not that far away from the market open. We're not far at all. Holy cow. Let's see. We are going to keep flushing. Yes, we are. Yes, we absolutely are. We're about a minute from the bell. Good morning, everyone. Hello, Enid. Good to see you. Ricardo says S&P has already lost 30 to 40 points. Yeah, it's been falling in the after hour for sure. So we should be starting in the red. Now, mind you, I don't think we're going to be there all day. It really depends. If we fall hard in the morning, then I think we're going to recover and still be in the red by the end of the day. But if we only fall for a little bit in the morning, there is that chance that we could get into the green by market close. There's a chance. I'm not promising anything, though. I definitely wouldn't promise anything on that. Let's see here. All right, let's see here. Yeah, and Ricardo's just talking about it. The volatility index, meaning that the VIX is up. The volatility is high, meaning the moves of the market become bigger. Yeah, that's exactly what it means. And it usually does indicate that, when it's up, there tends to be a lot more fear on the market as well. But hence the volatility, right? When people are afraid, they're making more moves, panic moves, things like that. Yeah. So we want that VIX to come down, but what we don't want is we don't want to mix up the VIX with the VIC. Good morning, Vic. About to hit the road. Now 1,125 BMO hodling. Uh-oh. It is time. The market's open. Start the trading, folks. Get your fingers ready. Hit your keyboards. Bring up bring up whatever you need to bring up to get this day underway, because it has started. Oh boy, let's see what let's see what happens. I will bring up here we go. Let's bring this up. We'll take a gander. So right now, currently, we are starting in the red as we thought. The TSX down 1.27, S&P down 1.39, NASDAQ down a full 2.44%, Dow Jones down, well, 0.9296. It's moving. It's moving. It's in transition. Gold, though, is doing okay today. They are up 0.96%. But keep in mind, what happens when the market is in a panic? People start moving things into safer investments. So gold is one of those safe investments. Silver as well, up, look at that, up 1.60%. WTI down 3.61%. Bitcoin down a little bit, 0.55%. And Ethereum down a big 1.70%. Yeah, we're in it. We got a day. We got a day going. This is going to, like I said, it's going to persist through the day. We're starting in the red. Hopefully we can get back into the green later, but it is happening. All right. And everybody, we got Mary in the house. So guys, hit the like button. And while you guys are hitting that like button, I got my morning coffee. So let's start this day right. I do love my morning brew. All right. Vic says, don't worry, Mary. I hit the button on the way in. That's the way to do it. That is the way to do it for sure. Oh boy. Oh man. That was good. That was good. So we did, as we looked a little bit earlier, you guys did see that Microsoft had their earnings report come in. So we've, and they fell short. And that's kind of part of what's been going on with the red markets. There's a couple of things that are driving the market yesterday. One is people are still worried about inflation. Even though the Fed sort of laid out that we are looking at we're looking at rate cuts in September. It's there's no way around it, especially down in the U.S. Part of me wouldn't even be surprised if we end up doing it here in Canada as well. But I still think, I don't know, I still think it's a bit too soon. But people are still a little worried about inflation. They're worried that something will derail that rate cut in September. And so it's got people on edge. So where they're on edge, it's not so much that being on edge is what's driving the market red. But if it's sort of like, it's like when you're watching a horror movie. You know how the music and the suspense gets you on the edge of your seat, so that way there, when they throw the jump scare at you, you holler or you jerk or you do whatever it is in your seat. The market's kind of like that right now, with everybody kind of on the edge thinking about, and this is a lot of it's about the job data. So there is job data dropping today. As people are worried about job data, as people are worried about that last big hurdle, any little thing will set them off. And here's the reality is, even if the job data comes in a little on the hard side, it doesn't necessarily negate that September rate cut, and it could, but it probably won't. I think very much so the U.S., especially businesses, I think even if it's just one cut, even if they just did one cut and then sat back for a while, I think that would happen. I think that would be very good. I think that would be a good way to go. Let's see. Ricardo says everything is dying. I open up red 2%. Yeah. And I mean, as you guys can see over here on the charts, we've got, so the TSX right now, 1.63% down. Now I can actually pull up the chart for the TSX. And this here is the TSX. So this is like, here's yesterday. That's yesterday. Here's today. We're basically following where we were yesterday. And so we're now at the point where we're starting to move through our moving day averages. So, it's going to be fun. It will be fun to see how this all moves around. Yeah. And of course, let's just go over to the NASDAQ for a minute. And you can see yesterday, they've had a little bit of recovery on the NASDAQ, a little bit. I mean, we're still down 2.44%. And this is on the 1 hour. So these, by the way, are 1 hour candles. So we are still down, but there's hope. There is hope, and that might be what we have to have. All that may be all we have to hold on to for today is a little bit of hope, and let's see what happens. Prairie is in the house. Good morning, early risers. A little late, but made it in. Happy Friday, everyone. Yeah, and because this was a surprise stream, I expect a few people are going to miss it. They're going to be like, "No." I actually created the stream yesterday. That way there, just so people, as you're doing your YouTube thing, you'd have a chance to see that it was there, because I didn't announce it at the last, during our last market close. Because at that time, I didn't actually know I was going to do it. So, it was one of those things. And I'll tell you, yesterday, as I was watching that red day, I'm like, oh boy, it's going to be an interesting open in the morning. It is going to be interesting for sure. Well, here we are. Red. The day is it's just red. All right, let's take a look before we go any further. We don't need the pre-market anymore, but do you want to see if we got any news stories that are popping up on the good old Bloomberg? So, yeah, big tech fails to convince Wall Street that AI is paying off. That's the thing. AI is more of in a way, I think people are a little bit impatient with AI too. People are expecting things to improve fast. It's going to take a little bit for adoption, and that's kind of one of these things. So there is that scenario where a lot of these companies have been pumping a lot of money in, and they're not getting a return on their investment yet. But that's a key word, yet. And I think one of the reasons that companies are doing this is that they kind of know that payment, that investment is going to pay off in the future. So they're kind of laying that groundwork for where we're going. So I don't think that's going to be too big of an issue. Let's see. So yeah, market selling off pretty much. And we're kind of, see, investors start gaming out exit plan for global rate divergence. We got a whole bunch of stuff going on. Intel sales slump threatens biggest share drop in 24 years. Yeah. Let's go back here and let's take a look at that one more time. That is just crazy. We looked at it just before the market opened, and here it is. Look at this. So Muhammad was saying, is $25 a good buy? $25 was up here. We're down here. So I think here's the thing. Will it go lower? Maybe it will. But I think you're in a good buying position right now. So if you're looking, and if you've done your due diligence, so do your due diligence. Don't just say, Candace just said it's a great buying position, so I'm going to buy like crazy. Don't do that. Do your due diligence. Make up your own mind. Check out that data. But this is not a bad position to be in. I think, if it comes any lower, it's hard to say. I think most of the pain from their bad earnings report, most of that pain has just happened. Here it is. You can see that giant gap. That's a gap full of pain. And now, as you can see, they peaked out at 2074. They are slowly starting to move back. Now, any further movement is going to be basically what the whole sector is feeling. So could there be more movement down? Yes, of course there could. But if you've done your due diligence, you're thinking, I do want to buy Intel. I do want to buy Intel. Well, here's what I would do is just, maybe buy a little bit here, see what happens. If it goes down a little bit lower, buy a little there. If it goes even lower, buy a little there. And then you'll end up having an average on the day somewhere's maybe in here. Maybe it'll be in here. Or if it starts going up, at least you got some here. And if it starts going up, and then you'd be like, okay, I better grab the rest here. At least it pulls that average down, instead of waiting. Because sometimes if you wait and you're like, I'm just going to buy the whole thing at the best possible place, you never know where that is. Chances are you could buy here. So right now at 2088, and then it could completely turn around and start coming back up. Probably not, but it could. That's kind of the way the market works. So that's one of the reasons dollar cost averaging is always the best way to go. And as we've talked, we've already pushed back down to the low again, but it's going to move. It's the way the market does. It moves back and forth. Ricardo says, so far in the last 2 days, I have lost literally 6.73%. I'm so sad. Keep in mind, if you don't sell it, you haven't lost, because you have to sell at a low to get that realized loss. And here's the thing. If you're holding Intel right now and you're like panicking and selling here, that's silly, because you know Intel is going to come back. We're not in a situation where Intel is about to say goodbye, and give a swan song and head off into the sunset. That's not about to happen. But your finances could do that if you sell at a big loss down here. Intel will turn around. They're going to come back up. It's the way the market works. And don't sell. Whatever you do, don't sell down here, especially if you bought somewheres up in here. Holy banana bread, leave that alone. Wait for this to rebound, and you can sell. You can sell once you get back up again. It's not a bad thing at all. So just keep in mind, when you're looking at a red portfolio, don't. The thing is, always remember, it's not an official loss until you realize it. So things will be down, things will be up. And the same thing when you're looking at a green portfolio. If your portfolio is up 25%, well, technically it's not even a win at that point. If you realize it, take some profits, then yeah, you've now realized that. So, it's just the way the market works. It's the way the market works. Never sell low. The exception, of course, being, so let's say, for example, you were in Intel and you're thinking, okay, Intel's down quite a bit. I don't have a lot of confidence in them. They've been doing making a lot of bad moves. Cool. You could move sideways, right? So if you had a similar company, let's say Microsoft was down too. Now, Microsoft is down, but not as much as this. But if you had more confidence in Microsoft, then you could get at a point where you could say, okay, I'll sell this. I'll move to Microsoft. And if it's outside of a registered account, this could be a tax loss harvesting opportunity. You move to Microsoft and you ride Microsoft up. But keep in mind, we do have this earnings in play. So this has pushed them down much more. So they're probably not the best candidate for a sideways move. But I was just sort of mentioning that to, just to sort of put your mind in the mindset that there are times when you can sell when things are in the red without it being a big issue. Sideways moves, they're fantastic. Nothing wrong with them at all. The other exception is if that company, let's say there is stuff going on behind the scenes. Let's say there's a scandal. The CEO has been embezzling, or there's been some really big legal issues, and you're like, oh boy, this is going to go a lot lower. Things are just starting to heat up. That's another point where you may put it out. The third option is sometimes, depending on how ethical you are as an investor, some investors are very ethical. So, like they're very much into ESG. And it may be that company has, it's come out that they're doing something to the environment, or they're doing something really, really awful. And you could get out for ethical reasons and take that loss. But if you do, I always say, look to see if you can find an opportunity to make a sideways move at the same time. All right. Mohammed says, I'm waiting for Intel to go around $20. Well, right now, $20.59. So here's the thing, Mohammed. Put in that limit order, right? Put in the limit order, because sometimes if it's towards the bottom, you could get it. It could wick down to $20. And, if you try to manually buy it at that point, you might miss it. But if it were to wick down, you may not get your full order processed at $20, but you may get some of it. So that's one of those things that, a limit order is not a bad thing in a case like that. Jersky saying, good morning. Today is crazy. Might be a good time to grab the S&P. Yeah, it's like, it's not a bad day when you look at it this way. So, if you come over here for a second, look at VFV. So VFV, I know a lot of people love that ETF for exposure to the S&P 500. And that's what it does. It tracks the S&P. So right now, if you are looking to get into something like a VFV, this is a great opportunity because it's nice and down. Eventually it's going to be back up in here. but for now, it is down. So not a bad opportunity for something like even the ETF indexes. As you can see, they're all sort of moving down as well. Another favorite, of course, is XEQT. And where the heck are you at, XEQT? I don't see you. I don't see you. You're in here somewhere. But XEQT would be another one, or V. Oh, here they are up here at the top. So we got VEQT, that's the Vanguard one. XEQT is the iShares. These are all equity. So as the entire market around the world, other than Brazil, is down, this is a great time. Look at this. This is a great time to get into a stock like this, or to add more, or to maybe, I don't know if you're going to average down. It depends on where you're at, because if you've been buying this regularly, you're going to have, you're probably high enough. Like if you've been buying in here through this year. Now, if you've been buying for a long time, you're probably still, no matter what you do, you're probably always going to be averaging up, because this thing does tend to always be moving up, which is fantastic. All right. We got Vineet in the house with a hi all. Hello, Vineet. Good to see you. Good to see everyone. Yeah, so this is kind of cool. It's kind of cool to see what that market is doing in the morning. Let's just jump back here for a moment. We'll take a look. We'll see where we're at right now. Intel is climbing, so we're not getting close to Muhammad's 20. We will take a look here. Oh, Bitcoin has turned around. Look at this. Bitcoin is actually having not a bad morning. Not a bad morning. It is moving up, which is a fantastic. I like to see that. I like to see that for sure. Now over here on the markets, once again, so the TSX, it's still down 1.63%. The S&P 500 down 1.48. NASDAQ 2.11. Dow Jones 1.23. Looking at the Canadian heat map, yeah, we got some red. We got some red in here. We got a few winners, but mostly losers. You can see both railroads are down big time today. CNQ's down. Yeah, holy bow. Suncor is down. Synovus is down. Most of the banks are down. Who do we have? Let's take a look and see who we do have in the winners. I'm just going to get rid of these. Not a lot. Basically, utilities are once again. You can't see what? Uh-oh. Let's see. We can't see it. What can't you see? Funny books, let me know what you can't see. I'm hoping you should be able to see the screen I'm sharing, hopefully, because it should be up there. It should be up there. But let me know if you can't see the screen. Are you guys able to see it? I hope so. But yeah, in the meantime, look at this. We do once again. Let's actually just pull up utilities. Oops, that's just Fortis. I love Fortis though, but look at this. Since if you're looking at since about June, so rate cuts. So when we say, and some people are like, when are we going to see some of the effects of the rate cuts? Well, look at this. The first rate cuts were in June, and look at Fortis since that first rate cut. They've been on a very upward trend. Even this red market, not doing it. You weren't doing it. Oh, okay. Perfect. I see this here. I can see it now. You weren't showing the screen before. Oh, weird. I thought I was. But sometimes that happens. There are times I will go off and I will explain something on the screen and I think it's up and I'm like, don't, because I'm looking at the screen, right? Away from over here, which shows me what I'm actually broadcasting. But yeah, I wanted to look at all of the utilities. Let's just pull up all of them. And you can start to see, look at this. Fortis up 1.28%. Hydro One is up. Emera is up. Canadian Utilities is up. ATCO is up. This is fantastic. I'm loving this. I am loving this. Communications. Let's go into communications. Rogers right now. Rogers is up. I need to pull up this one here if I want to see. So TELUS has just gone down a little bit. And I think Bell is a little bit deeper. So Bell's not doing so great, but Rogers is doing fantastic. It's kind of weird. I'm not used to Rogers doing so great. But once again, rate cuts, Rogers is going to love it. Rogers, out of all of our telecommunications companies, they have the most debt. So they have the most to win from these rate cuts. Now, TELUS and Bell both have a lot of debt too. But unlike Rogers took on a lot of debt to buy Shaw. So they're loving these rate cuts. And holy banana bread, if we do get another rate cut in September, that's going to be really, really, really fun. All right, let's give me a second here. We'll push ourselves back to, I don't want to go there. Let's go over here. This one here. We'll go to the US one. Well, this is interesting. Apple. Apple is doing fantastic. Look at that. They're up 2.08%, but everybody else looks to be down. And look at Amazon. Holy cow. Look at Amazon. They are down big time. We're looking at right now 11.64%. Now I know they did recently have an earnings. Let's pull up Amazon and take a look at the earnings. AMZ. All right. AMZN. There we go. Amazon, let's pull them up. We'll take a gander. Here we go. And here we go. Here's their earnings report. You can see, I can tell you, I don't even have to look at the earnings report. This is not good. This is really not good. Let's pull it up and look. Now they did actually do okay on half of their earnings call. So their EPS, they were estimated to come in at 1.034. They did beat that quite a bit, 1.26. But here's where they lost a little bit. And this is funny. This is actually, I find this funny here. So they didn't miss by much. They were expected to come in at 148.665 billion. They came in at 147.977 billion. So they only missed by 0.46%. But look at the drop. Look at the drop. They went from like 180 down to 160. That is crazy. That's a crazy big drop. So yeah. And if you remember, we were talking a tiny bit about the VIX, and with that VIX being high, people are panicking. People are panicking a little bit, and this is a panic move. This is not a logical move, because they weren't that bad. They weren't that bad. But the beautiful thing is, because they weren't that bad, I have a feeling they can recover easier than a lot. But we'll have to see. They're currently still falling. But holy banana bread. All right. All right. And let's see here. We were at the US. So yeah, we have a couple like Apple doing good. Johnson & Johnson down here doing good. United Health up as well. So not too shabby. We do have some Tesla, and Tesla's not doing that bad. They're only down 0.89%. And crypto, well, it's kind of it's more red, I think, than anything else. But Bitcoin right now down a tiny bit. Ethereum's down 1.05%. Oh yeah, we got, of course, let's do it. We'll come in here. There are so many crypto coins, and most of them ones that I do not even know what they are. Okay, there we go. Let's pick a loser that I do not know what it is. We'll go this little one down here. Petals. I do not know what Petals is. But oh boy, this looks like somebody whose heart took that last beat and then bloop. Yeah, that's pretty bad. No idea what this coin does. Don't know what its purpose is, but it's one of them random 14,000 coins that I'm never going to own. So there's Petals. If any of you know what it is, you can certainly throw it into the comments, but I don't think any of us are going to buy it. I don't think so. All right, let's get back to the chat here. Get ourselves all caught up. All right, here we go. All right. So driving to work. Fun with K. Hi, which ETF is good for a beginner? All right. Well, let me pull this back up again. So a lot of times, if you are brand new to investing and you're looking for an ETF to give you some good exposure, and that does most of the work for you, well, there's a few that are really, really, really good. This is a good one here. A Vanguard VFV is one that's fantastic. So VFV, it tends to follow the S&P 500 because that's what it does. So it's the Vanguard Investments Canada Inc. S&P 500 index. So it will follow the big indices in the US. It has basically the S&P 500 technically has the 500 biggest companies in it. And that's a fantastic one for a beginner. It also has pretty low management fees, which I do like about it. Now, another good one is we got VE at QT, which is the Vanguard All Equity, and then we got the iShares All Equity. So some people like XEQT better because they pay their dividends more regularly. But once again, these here invest in, well, they have the same stuff as VFE, but they also invest in emerging markets, the rest of the world. So you get worldwide exposure with this one. I believe, and I know it's just over 9,000. I think JJ was mentioning the other day 9,026, I think, at his last count, but that's a lot of stock. So these are some good ones to get your feet wet with. They're great for just, leaving and forgetting, doing dollar cost average into them. There's a lot out there, and you have to. And one of the things fun with K is that you have to look at what your investment goals are. So, for example, if you're just looking to put some money into one and sort of set and forget it, both of these I think are fantastic. But of course, you will still want to do your due diligence. I have a kitten who came in and is meowing, of course. All right, let's see here. Jersky says, why do you think the banks are tanking so hard right now, both U.S. and Canadian banks? I think there's a lot of overall panic in the markets. There's a lot of panic around interest rates, what's going to happen, and banks are suffering a little bit for it. Now, with the Canadian banks, there's also, of course, all of the information that came out about the Bank of Canada actually loaning the money for their loan loss provisioning. So that's created a little bit of controversy, but I'm not looking at it as a bad thing. I don't think banks are in trouble. If anything, I think we're getting some better buy-in option points. So I still think as we move. So here's the thing, especially with Canadian banks, we do have a wave of mortgage renewals coming, and that is going to make things a little bit rocky on the Canadian side. So we're not going to get, when you look at utilities, who right now is currently in the green, we're just not going to get that same thing with the banks. They have to sort of weather this, the whole interest rate wave. And of course, the more rate cuts we get before the big chunk of these renewals come through, the better it's going to be. But right now it is going to be rough. And I don't think there's going to be a lot of people who are going to come through before the core rates. Like I think a lot of the core, the big amounts of cuts are going to happen like next year in 2025. So we may see, and I think the market right now is pricing in 2 more cuts between now and the end of the year. Now you never know. If inflation numbers keep coming down the way they have been, maybe we'll get 3, but right now the market is pricing in 2. Vineet says, I like how you are showcasing or discussing more U.S. stocks as of late. Example, Amazon and its earnings. Well, yeah, the thing is, you got to look at it this way. The Canadian market is not an isolated entity. So a lot of times what's happening south of the border has direct impacts on our market. And especially if you're an ETF investor, a lot of your ETFs, of course, are holding American stocks. So that's, I just noticed this here. So there we go. 9,087 the last time JJ checked. There we go. All right. Oh, I should get rid of this while we're answering some questions here. Actaz says, I see the title changed from yesterday. It sure did. Initially, I made this yesterday morning before the markets opened. And I wanted to talk about August. Like, I'm pretty bullish on August. Like, I think overall August is going to be green. So I had a title about August and green. But I looked at that title after after the day we had yesterday and seeing what it looked like today was going to look like. I'm like, no, I really can't use that title. It's going to be a red day, second in a row. August is off to a red start, so let's change that title to reflect it. All right, Sophie. Hello, Sophie. Says better late than never. Happy Friday. Yeah, absolutely. I love a good Friday. Let's see, JJ. Let's see. All right, we got that. Patricia's saying, hi, is it a new schedule? No, it is not a new schedule. This is I just wanted to do it. This is one of these ones, like, like we did the stream on Wednesday. We had the opportunity to win a market close today. We didn't do it, but I was like, I kind of want to do a market open. I just it's a different energy and you're kind of moving in a different way. And I thought it'd be fun. Let's just do one. So I was like, I'm scheduling one. And that's the way to do it, right? The second I throw it on the schedule or I make it, I got to do it. I got to do it. There's nothing I can do about it at that point. So I did put this up. Now, a couple of housekeeping notes. So there's no video for Tuesday. This is going to be one of them rare times where I take a video off. Part of that reason, there's two parts. Part of the reason is that I'm looking to change a few things up in the studio. It'll look the same for you guys, but I'm hoping to not have to use, I'd like to have this background in my regular videos. So I'm looking at trying to find a way to incorporate the camera system on the other side of the desk. So we're going to see how that works. Hopefully it works, but I'm going to be trying that out on the weekend opposed to scripting and trying to get a video together for Tuesday. The second reason, Jill's birthday is on Monday. So we're going to take some time and we're actually going to go see Wolverine and Deadpool. Or is it Deadpool and Wolverine? I think it's Deadpool and Wolverine. So we're going to go see them at the theater and maybe have a supper or something out and about, because a lot of times I get tied up in the studio and we don't get out as much. So we're taking a birthday day for Jill as well. So between the two of them, we're looking at the next video. It will be after today, like today's video, the 0 to 100K challenge. That's coming out this afternoon at 2. The next video will be an ETF, and I'll probably get the vote up. I'll probably put it up later today, so that way that'll be for Thursday. But there'll of course we're still getting the weekend live stream. That's still happening, and we'll still have, of course, the market close on on Wednesday as well. So only thing that's happening is one video less next week. But then everything is back to normal. And one of the things I do want to point out is with this market open, if you guys love it, you can always request more. We can always look at doing more market opens. I mean, it really boils down to what you guys like. And to me, that's fantastic. No, I realize as well, a lot of you guys will probably watch this in the replay. Hello to the replay, folks. All right. JJ says, and the U.S. market is capitalist king. Absolutely. Absolutely. The U.S., I mean, that's where all the money is, and that's where all the diversification is. In Canada, we're pretty much, we're really heavy on certain sectors like financials, energy, utilities. We don't have that same level of exposure that they have in the States. And that's one of the reasons that it is a good place to invest in. But I know sometimes it's a little difficult. And a lot of times we get investors who are like, I just want to stick to Canadian stocks. That's all I want. I just want Canadian stocks. And absolutely, you can do that. And that's one of the reasons that if you want exposure to the US without, of course, investing in US stocks, we got CDRs. And I recently did actually a CDR video that showed you some of the huge total returns that some of the big ones are getting. Of course, a lot of the big ones were tech, and right now tech is suffering a little bit. So you got to be patient when you invest in something like that. Like if you bought the NVIDIA CDR at the height of when NVIDIA was at their top, you're in the red. But have no fret. I still think there's a lot of runway left for NVIDIA and tech. And so it's going to be big. All right, guys. All right, so these are not super long. They're about an hour. So we got maybe about 10 minutes left. If you guys got your last minute questions, get them into the chat so that we can, we can get them answered for you. We'll take a look at the markets here again in a moment. I'm just going to have a little sip of coffee first. Mario says, a time to buy the dip today. It could be. It could definitely be. We're having that red day. All right, let me just pull up the markets here. As you can see, we're still on Amazon, and they've started to rebound a little bit, but We're going to need to see more than that to say that they're in recovery from that earnings call. All right. Let's go back to the markets, and we can see TSX is still down 1.64%. S&P 500, and we'll just do it this way. We'll do it this way. There we go. TSX is down 1.64%, so we can actually see that candlestick. The S&P 500 also down, and they're still moving in the down direction. What we want to see to show some amount of recovery is we want to see a wick down here to show that they're moving back up. And right now they're not. Right now they're at their lowest of the day, and they're still moving. They're still moving down. Holy banana bread. Now the NASDAQ will have that wick that we're looking at. You can sort of see it right down here. They're moving. They're starting to move a little bit up. I'm not sure why. Yeah, it's kind of weird. This is a situation. So when you look at that and you're thinking that should be red, it should, but it's a situation with the way they gapped. So they gapped in such a way that it's sort of like the gap was your red, but they've been green since the market since the market opened. So yeah, it's kind of a weird thing. Well, they're red now. There you go. So it's kind of funky. Sometimes that gap can play a little bit of visual tricks on us. The Dow Jones also down, as you can see. Gold is looking strong. Coming up, it's still climbing. Like you can see, gold has been on an upward trend. So those of you who are either holding physical gold, or maybe you're invested in something like a GLCC or another ETF for gold, you're happy. You're definitely happy. Silver, same idea, has been doing good. Now it has had a little bit of a correction here, but it seems to have mostly recovered. Oil, though, oh boy. Oil has been on a downward. Tell ya, I would have loved to have been in HOD up here. That's an inverse oil ETF. Because yeah, that right now is doing well. Well, let me see. I don't know if I have HOD on here. I do. So here's HOD. So you can see right here, it's been climbing, and it's had this big jump here thanks to the price of oil. But yeah, that's what we've been looking at today. And of course, back here to Bitcoin. Bitcoin, coming up, it's hit a bit of resistance. It's down a little bit here, but I have a feeling. I'm not expecting any big moves on Bitcoin today, but you never know. You never know. Where's the bottom? That's a good question. That's a good question. And it's also one of those questions that I think I'd like to think we're getting close to the bottom. I'm not convinced that we are, into a new downtrend, or that, we're at the start of like a bear trend within the bull market. You could call it a bull trend, but it's not going to be deep. I don't expect to see us go much deeper. I am really thinking that August overall will be a green month. So I'm still on board for green month August. So this we have to see. Now, one of the things as well, and this is kind of what throws a little bit of uncertainty into the air, is that we've had a lot of stuff happening in the US election. Everything from the assassination attempt to Joe Biden stepping down, that's all played in on a lot of volatility. Like I've never, I've watched US elections, and the build up to them for years, but I've never seen anything like this. I have never seen anything like this. And we're now at a point too that I just have a feeling it could still get crazier. So that's a little bit of volatility on the table. And I think that's one of the things, like, as I've mentioned before, Kevin is sort of saying that things are going to be bad until the US election. And I think that's where he's pulling a lot of that from, is some of that volatility and some of the uncertainty around that as well. That could certainly put people on heightened, or put them on sort of walking on pins and needles type things. But or probably eggshells is a better word. Yeah, more like walking on eggshells. But I think that we're going to, I still say if we're going to bottom, I don't know if it'll be today, but it could be. It could be today, but I don't know. It's one of these things. I don't have an answer for you. I don't think we're going to go much lower. So if I were DCAing, I would be happy with some of the numbers I'm seeing today. They might get a bit lower, but I don't think they're going to get a lot lower. Millhouse says, are the 100K TFSA challenge picks coming out today? Yes, they are. They will be released at 2 p.m. Eastern. And those who are channel members, they could watch it yesterday. I uploaded it yesterday because they get, basically channel members get one, basically roughly a day usually, because it's usually, around 2 o'clock plus or minus an hour that I drop it the day before. So the channel members do get an extra day. They get everything a day early, which is fantastic. And I don't mind because you know what? If you're subscribing to the channel or if you want it, it doesn't matter to me. It just, it gets a little something special, a little bit something special. I'm jumping ahead to this one here. No, I will never send you a friend request on Discord. I will never do it. But I will accept your friend requests. And that's the reason why, because over on Discord, I love Discord. There are a lot of scammers who are pretending to be me. They make fake accounts. They're trying to get you to accept the friendship, and then they'll start talking to you about investments and Bitcoin. And next thing you know, they're starting the scam con on you. So the way I tell everybody about Discord is if you want to talk to me on Discord and you want to talk to me off, not in one of the main, not in a main channel, you just want to send me a message or something, friend me. I will okay you back. That way there, if you send a friend request to me and I accept it, then you're talking to me and you're not talking to, a scam bot or whatever the heck those guys are. But, yeah, definitely something. I really, it gets me. It really ires me what these scammers are like. So, always be on the lookout. And the same thing in the comments. Even in the comments in the video, I do my best to, grab some of these scam things that pop up. But occasionally, if it pops up just after I did a check, and then I'm doing something for a couple of hours, it could sit there for a little bit. So I always say, just be wary of stuff like that. If somebody posts something in the comments that says, "Oh, I've been making these wonderful returns with the help of insert person's name, like Judy Summers or Bill Johnson," and then you get a whole bunch of comments after it, and they're all saying, "Oh my God, yes, I know about that guy. How can I reach him?" And then, of course, they eventually give a WhatsApp number. Well, that's all scam, right? They're just trying to scam you. So always, 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 always be careful. Exactly. And that's the thing. But if you look closely at the word Mountain Finance, there's usually one little thing wrong in there. So, for example, there might be a period in there, or they might put a 1 instead of an I, or some little thing, or they might put an extra N in finance, hoping you don't catch that. So there's always a little thing, but just be careful. Follow that general rule. All right. Mario says, I might get some Hamilton ETA. I do like Hamilton, and you're talking AMAX. Of course. Lately, my favorite lately is, I'll bring this back up here. Why not? I've been crazy about RMAX. So let's take a look here. So I do have this in the 0 to 100K challenge. So this is their brand new yield maximizer ETF. There's a few things I like about it. All right, I'm just going to pull the 3-month here. So they launched at $16. Right now they're worth $17.44. That's fantastic, but they have a really nice dividend. So you're looking at 9.26% in addition to all of this growth that you're getting. So right now this is a total return dream, and it is a monthly. So it's a monthly 13.5 cents. And actually the first dividend is coming out, I think is it August 8th? Let's take a look. We'll take a gander down here. So August 8th, which means I'll receive it about August 9th. So it's not too shabby, 13.5 cents per share. I'm loving it. I'm loving the fact that this is going to be, for me, utilities, as we saw earlier, as well as REITs, are going to be those companies that have a good, are going to respond really well to the rate cuts as we move into them. So I'm going to ride this one up. And the fact that I'm getting a dividend as I ride it up is going to be fantastic. Fantastic for sure. So what can I say? What can I say? All right, guys. Let's take our last look at the market here. And as you can see, yeah, it's actually deeper now. You can see we're now 2% down on the TSX. So it is still falling. I do not know what this line is. I'm going to delete it. There we go. I probably put it on there. I was charting something. So yeah, absolutely. All right. And the S&P 500, 2.34, NASDAQ, 2.29. Boy, we got some red. Even the Dow Jones is almost, well, they're 1.56. So it's not a great day. I still hope, I'm hoping after lunch we get a bit movement back up, but I think we're deep enough now that for me, I would be happy to see, for example, with the S&P 500, I would be happy to see us finish at about 0.1 down. I would be happy because then at least we gain back half of what we lost. That's what I'd like to see, but it's going to be interesting to see if we keep falling today. Yeah, obviously, if we keep falling today, then we'll have a lot of speculation for Monday, and we'll certainly touch on that on this week if that's a situation. And Actaz brings up a good point here. HDIV has them all. So yeah, there are a lot of these ETFs. So actually, let's show you. Let me show you guys. Pull this back up. Oh, I was showing you the S&P, and I was going to say I forgot to bring the thing again. So yes, it is down quite a bit. As I mentioned, 2%, 2%, 2%. Well, I mean, this is like 2.27% on the. Everybody's down. Everybody's down. But I did want to actually. I don't want to go to here for. Just pull up Google. All right. And this is what I say with a lot of these ETFs. I always say one of the places that if you're invested in like HDIV, you want to be at their, I would almost say, make a bookmark. Have like a folder for your ETFs. Any ETFs you're invested in, have that way there you can look at their pages. So this here is a Hamilton HDIV. So the Hamilton Enhanced Multi-Sector Covered Call ETF. Now, what's really interesting about this one is, let me just pull this down here, performance. Well, there's the performance. That's not too shabby. All right, here we go. This is what I'm taking a look at. All right, so these are their holdings. So this here, as you can see, they hold other Hamilton ETFs. So you're getting, hello, not now. You're getting exposure right across the board. So you'll notice here, you've got HFIN, QMAX, HMAX, EMAX, AMAX, UMAX, LMAX, HUTS, and RMAX. There we go. Now it's only a 2.4%, but Actaz is right. If you were looking for bigger exposure right across the board, this is not a bad one. HDIV. They do have currently their annualized yield is sitting at about 11.98%. Now for that one, I'd be more inclined just to come over to here to see what it exactly is, because this here is updated by the minute. So here we go, HDIV. So currently 10.813%, but it's, let's just take a look at the last year. It has been doing well. It's got a lot of exposure to a lot of good stocks. So it's not a bad ETF at all. So just putting that up there. And Larry is saying, picking up more of this beautiful dip, debating activating 95% margin and scooping up these deals. Yeah, exactly. Yes. The answer to that is yes. So the Canadian markets will be closed on Monday, as we have. I don't know what they're calling it. I think they call it Family Day in some places, or Civic Days. I think Halifax calls it Natal Day, and but yeah. So basically, yes, we have a holiday on Monday. So it's a long weekend. Markets will be closed. U.S. markets though will be open. So, we do get a reprieve, a one-day reprieve here, which can be a good or a bad thing, depending on who you are. I know at least one person. I don't know if he still feels this way. I think Vineet once said, Oh no, it's a long weekend. I have to have 3 days away from the market. It's nice. It's fun. But anyway, everybody, this has been fantastic. Let me just pull up the big screen. This has been fantastic. It's a great way to start a day. Hopefully, you guys find some really great deals today, and get that dollar cost averaging going in there. And I will see you guys all, of course, on Sunday when we have this week. Looking forward to it. Enjoy the rest of the day on the market, and hopefully we get a little bit of a rebound in the second half of the day. I'm hoping for it. You guys can call me out if we don't on Sunday. Boy, we better get it because I don't want to get called out on Sunday. But anything can happen on the market, and hopefully you guys have a good day and have a great day on the market. Until next time, folks, bye-bye.